Hey everybody, my name is Dévi and welcome to Book Connoisseur. Wow! I'm going to talk about something a little bit different today, and that is journaling. So, a little bit of background. I have been journaling most of my life, but I am extremely ADD, so I've never actually finished a journal fully through until I started it this past November right after the election, and I completed it in January, I think. Yeah. I'm going to talk a little bit about what got me into journaling, things I've been loving about journaling, and hopefully it could help inspire some other people out there to be creative and not judge yourself too much as you're writing. So, the first thing I'm going to talk about is the workbook that I've been doing. Now, if you're on TikTok, you might have heard of this, but since TikTok's presence in the US is a little precarious, I thought I would talk about it on YouTube a little bit, and that is The Artist's Way by Louise Carmen. Now, this is a creative workbook, and I am working my way through it. It's a 12-week course, if you will. I think Louise Carmen was a teacher. She taught a lot about creativity, and she came up with this method. As you can see over here, this is the 30th anniversary edition, so this is a very beloved book, and it came out around the time I was born. Each week she gives a little bit of a prompt, some background writing things to think about in almost an essay form, and then there are tasks you can do or not, depending on what fits with you. Most of it is journaling. There are two big takeaways from this book that are basically required for every single week, and that would be the morning pages and an artist's date. So what those two things are, the morning pages are just every morning you sit down and you journal for 3 pages straight. Whatever comes to your mind, just brain dump, stream of consciousness. It's just a way to get things out of your head and onto a page, get them somewhere physically so that you can forget about them. Or alternatively, you'll have creative bursts that come through as you're writing, thinking about what to write. And sometimes I'm even like, I don't know what to write. I don't know what to write until the next thought pops into my head. So there's not a lot of pressure. It's just for you. You're not supposed to share them with anyone. And that is how I ended up filling up my first journal ever. So I've been pretty good about my morning pages. And the second thing that is important is the artist's date. And that's where every week you take yourself alone somewhere, on a date, just a creative venture, or I often go to the thrift store just to inspire me and look at objects and think about what I like about them, how they function, and that kind of thing. But you could really do anything. You could just go walk around at the park. It's just a method of learning to be by yourself and listen to your inner creative voice. So something that often comes up as a criticism of this book is that it is very religious. So I'm not a religious person. I'm more of a spiritual person, I would say. I don't think that matters when you're doing this book. She says in the beginning, in the introduction, she uses the word God or a higher power, but you can sort of replace that with whatever you're comfortable with. So you could say the universe or the earth, whatever. You can sort of reframe some of the ideas in here in a way that makes you more comfortable. So I'm currently on week 5, and what's funny is so far there's been a really hard week was week 4, when you had to do a detox from reading anything or consuming anything, any media or anything. And so my first week 4 happened. It coincided with the LA fires, and I have a lot of family in LA. We were affected by the fires, so I was very much consuming the news and sitting on the internet looking for videos and any information about our family's home. So I ended up doing week 4 again the next week. I was sort of in this weird headspace after all of that in week 4, so I tried it again. So I did week 4 3 times. And then when it didn't click the 3rd time, I was just like, okay, I'm feeling myself like distancing from this, so I'm just gonna go on to week 5. And so that's what I did, and I'm feeling myself reconnecting with it. But that whole time I was consistent about my morning pages, which is good. Some of the tasks will be like, write a letter to your 8-year-old self. What are your dreams for the future at 8 years old, or something like that. That kind of thing, like journaling prompts. Another thing that has gotten me into journaling very much was the purchase of this absolutely beautiful journal from Louise Carmen in Paris. If you're on journaling TikTok, you've definitely heard of them. So talk to you a little bit about the journals from Louise Carmen and why I love it so much. So again, I'm very much an object-oriented person. I love beautiful objects. I really appreciate them, especially if they're objects that are meant to last forever. So if you take care of this, it can last a very, very, very long time. Now I'll open it up. So each journal comes in this dust bag, or there's a variety of dust bags. I also got my refills in this one. So they come in different patterns. You get to choose the pattern based on what's available. What I love about Louise Carmen are all of the personalizations you can do. This is my Louise Carmen journal. She's beautiful. Anyway, so these are, they're called Heritage Leather, and they're vegetally tanned. And my leather is the natural. So what I like about the leather is that they all come from the food industry. So I really like that it's like an ethical leather in that way. So some of the personalizations you get to choose the color of your journal. Like I said, this is the natural color. And then you get to choose the style, and this is a road book. And what that means is that there is room for 6 notebooks in this. And what's nice about this is these are refillable. Basically, there are these cords in the center here, and you can slip your notebooks through. So the road book has space for 6 notebooks, and there are no pockets or anything on this, but you can get a portfolio to then slip on the inside, and this has like a big zip pocket with some of these card pockets here. And then you put a notebook in the middle, and then there's like a big pocket on the inside there. You can personalize the color of the portfolio. This is the Jack portfolio, I believe, that fits in the road book. And this is their medium size. So the personalizations, you can get something engraved on the front. I got my name here in red. And something that's important to know about this is that it will patina over time. So as you can see, like, there's some wear here, and I personally really love that. It shows like how you're using it, how you're interacting with it. I love that about Louise Carmen. And then the other personalization is the color of the string. So I got a red one to match my red name and my red portfolio. Like, I have my morning pages in here, and as I fill these up, I fill them up, I take them out like this, and then I can put a new one in. Very simple. And so it's basically like having a leather bound notebook, but it never runs out because you can constantly refill it. And then see, super easy to just slip it back in. And then I have my portfolio. Here I have my sketchbook. Got a little binder clip to help me hold it open when I use it. This little pocket with some tracing paper and a note card. Then I've got my like art ideas journal. And I really love it. I've taken it on several trips already. It's come on the airplane. It's super beautiful. And my favorite part about the personalization are the charms. So here on the side, you can get charms for these little loops here. I have like a little Scorpio, cat, and a mama charm. I actually added the mama charm myself, and the other 2 are from Louise Carmen's shop. And then here on the front, I have a little pearl from Louise Carmen, And I also have this journal charm from the jeweler July Rose. I'll tag her on here. She also has a YouTube. I really love her content. Yeah, and the journal charm, you can personalize that however you want. I got a quote from Intermezzo, or I should say part of a quote from Intermezzo. It says, "More life, more and more of life." Yeah, so this is my beautiful Louise Carmen, and I loved this so much that I got another one. This is my other one. I got an Earnest. It's what it's called. It's their smallest size. I got this in the London green with a pink cord, quartz gris-gris, and a little flower gris-gris, and I got Mama engraved on the side, and this I'm using as like a planner for my day. This is like the one that comes in my purse with me. So the Earnest does have a pocket here in the back as well as a little pen loop, but I got, in addition to that, a portfolio in pink. I've got like a little notebook for just like random things I need to write down. I bought their tiny pen that fits perfectly in this little pen pocket here. This also has a little zip pocket here. I have a little book for like poetry and random ideas that I have on the go. And then what I've been using the most is their 365 agenda. I'll show you the inside here. So it doesn't have any dates or months written on here. So if you like are on vacation or something for a week, you can just skip it and you're not wasting any paper, which I love. So you get 2 weeks of like this calendar page. Sorry if that's not in focus. And then you get like a little blank space. So what I've been doing is each night I'll fill out like what's happening that next day, and then in that little like extra pages every 2 weeks, I'll like write down little tasks that come up during the week that don't necessarily have like a timeline on them. And if my husband and I have extra time, we'll like refer to that list and get some things done that need to get done. Like, you know, we had to like register a car, or like, you know, hang up that shelf that's been sitting on the floor forever, that kind of thing. Yeah, and this is gonna patina more over time. It's pretty new. This one's a little bit older. This is about 4 months, and this is about 2 months. Not even 2 months, 6 weeks. Yeah, so these are my Louise Carmens. I love them so much. I will say that they are pricey. These are luxury items. They're not cheap. So there are some like dupes on Etsy, and I think there's also Paper Republic makes a similar one that's slightly cheaper. It's not that much cheaper, that you can also personalize. But yeah, the thing about the Louise Carmen is it has the trifold, so both sides are covered, which is what I really love. It makes it feel more like an object, and some people don't find it as practical for like quickly writing things down, but I'm using them a little bit more like I have to set the intention of like sitting down with them and using them. Yeah, and I really love it. Yeah, so I'll put a link to Louise Carmen in the description. I'll also put a link to July Rose, because these are such gorgeous journal charms. Yeah. Yeah. So that's it. If you are interested, I'd love to share some journaling prompts or things I'm thinking about. As I've mentioned in my past 2 videos, I've been thinking about like the power of objects and whatnot, and thinking about that while I'm journaling and where that power comes from. And yeah, so if you're looking for some journaling prompts, maybe that's something I'll leave at the end of each video, if you're interested. But yeah, I hope this has helped you understand Louise Carmen, inspired you to journal. If you're interested in creativity or feel like you're creatively blocked, I highly recommend The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron. I'm going to be sharing some more creative workbooks and sort of in that vein the rest of the year, because that's something I'm really focusing on for the year. Yeah, I'm focusing on like my own creativity and really bringing back my studio practice. in a more vigorous way. I'm using the journal and the workbooks to help inspire me. Yeah, I will be back soon with another video. Thanks for watching. Bye.